Does everybody have to make that walk or just the visiting team? I don't have an opening statement.
We are joined now by Notre Dame coach McGraw and student athletes Skylar, Diggins, and Becca Bruszewski. Coach, will you start off with a comment, and then we'll turn that over to questions to the student athletes.
I was really happy with the way we played in the Big East tournament. I think we have a lot of momentum going into the NCAA tournament, but it's been a long time since we've played, and we are anxious to get started.
Questions for the student athletes.
Marty Rensoffer with the Salt Lake Tribune. Skylar, can you just talk about your experience last year as a freshman coming into this, and how much going through this season, you know, having to play a top-level schedule and bringing your team to this point where you're a #2 seed, how much last year has helped you this year?
Well, last year definitely helped me a lot. Having a lot of in-game experience, playing against a lot of good teams in the Big East, and coming in the first, second round and against Oklahoma, playing against good teams, 3 good teams right off the bat. So we definitely learned a lot, took a lot from last year, and then having a tough schedule that we did. I mean, I think the coaching staff did a great job of making sure that they put some of the best teams in the country on our schedule to bulk it up, to get us ready for this point that we're at right now. So for me personally, just being at the point guard position, like I said, being at more of a leadership role, having to be more of a communicator since we lost our point guard from last year, just a lot. I mean, you learn a lot from it. You learn a lot from your teammates, and you go back and watch film and look at the things that you do in the game and things you need to work on, fix them in practice, and get ready for the tournament.
Skylar, can you talk about growing into the point guard position, and also your last 10 games you're averaging 16 points a game? Can you just talk about, are you more comfortable handling the point, or did you change something in terms of looking for your shot?
I mean, the last 10 games, well, that was the bulk of our Big East schedule and into the Big East Conference Championship. So just playing tougher teams makes you rise up to the occasion, I guess. I mean, I had some growing pains early in the season, but I think my teammates and coaches did a good job of helping me adjust to that role. Like I said, watching film, I feel like I watched more film this year, 3 times as much as I did last year. So just getting in there and looking to see what we look like, and like I said, trying to fix it in practice.
Becca, how difficult, or has it been, to focus on one game at a time in a tournament and not be overcome with the big picture of just trying to, you know, get to a Sweet 16 and Final 8 and get back, you know, against some of the topper echelon teams you'll probably meet along the way?
Well, it's one step at a time. You can't get to the Final 4 or Elite 8 or even think about that unless you win Game 1, and that's really what our focus has been, Game 1 versus Utah, and just how the approach is to that and what we're going to do to be successful.
Becca, can you talk about Skylar's development this season as a point guard? What have you seen change as the season's gone along?
Definitely at times she's been our glue in the sense of, you know, we need a basket, she's going to take it to the lane, she's going to get inside, and, you know, she's really been the playmaker for us, whether it's, you know, she's calling something that she knows would work, or she's getting somebody else the shot on the outside. So she's just really matured, I would say, IQ-wise, and just what we need from her at what point in time.
Questions for the student athletes?
Hi, Bill Oram with the Salt Lake Tribune. Could each of you guys talk about what you've seen from Utah that could potentially be dangerous in this first round matchup? What you like, what worries you maybe?
Go ahead. They definitely have good three-point shooters. The one's 43%, and, you know, we definitely have to get out on the three-point line and deny. They have big posts inside, but we're looking to body them up and just kind of take them off the dribble. But definitely, they're a great team, and they're on the peak of their season here at the end. They won their conference, and it's going to be a great matchup.
And they have a great point guard who's going to push who knows how to use her ball screens, who's great at getting to the basket, who's great at finding her teammates. I mean, you have a great player in Plouffe who knows how to take over games and really wants to take those big shots, and really been a key to keeping her team in some of those close games and even hit, game winners. So we understand that we have to really lock down on defense, make sure that we defend the ball screens well, and just push and transition, try to set the tempo early to make the crowd a non-factor.
Skylar, what's the one area in terms of being the point guard that you're most pleased with in terms of your development, and what's the one area that's been challenging for you?
I'm kind of pleased with my understanding of the plays and my understanding of my teammates. What do they like to shoot? What do they want the ball? What plays are best for them? What plays are they most successful in scoring or in a scoring position? Thing I would like to work on is limiting turnovers, definitely, and really making sure that I make better, smarter decisions in transition.
You were kind of used to being the focus of defensive attention, though, right? I mean, given in high school, you were probably always dealing with double teams, triple teams. Has that helped you in terms of what you have to deal with as a point guard?
I think so. I mean, the difference, it's a faster game, and in college they're going to rotate quicker. So, I say just making those decisions quicker. And, people are going to move to the ball. My teammates do a great job of knowing where I'm going to go, and our line of communication is really good. So, just like I said, we're learning each other. I know their game, they know mine. So, it's good. When you see the double, they're going to move to the ball. Brittany and Nasty are going to spot up. Becca and Dev are going to come to the ball and move towards it. So, the high caliber players and everybody just knowing each other.
Becca Bruszewski, you're a senior. It says senior next to 4 names on our roster. When you look at becoming a senior and being a captain, it's important, but becoming a leader has been really, I think, the underlying factor with you and Brittany and the people on our team. Devereaux Peters has been here long enough, also listed as a senior. But when you think about the development from being a senior to a captain and then really taking over a leader, it's been a big part of the development of this team.
It definitely has, but my team does it they make it so much more easy than I ever thought. Skylar does a great job, running the point. Natalie and Brittany on the wings, and Dev has really come alive, coming back from all her injuries, and she's just finally playing, and we're so versatile, and it makes it easy to do my job, and everyone else is stepping up and making sure, no one else wants to let someone down on the team, so I don't have to do much. I really don't.
You guys talked about not overlooking these early rounds as you try to get back to the Final Four, Elite Eight, and all that. But with Utah specifically, a team that is really surging, as you mentioned, is it a little harder not to overlook a team like that, or just what's the mindset with a team not a good record but has been playing pretty well?
You don't overlook any team. So right now we're concentrating on Utah, what we have to do, and the game coming up. That's it. And
at this point in the season, the record is 0-0. The record is out the window. It's all about the game now, and it's a lot on stake. It's a lot at stake and a lot on hand.
Over here.
Hi. Could you talk about Devereaux a little more? Some national people have said that she's a difference maker for you in this tournament. Can you just talk about what having her healthy, I guess, means?
She's invaluable to the team. I know she saved us all at one point in time with a block or another, and just her tenacious attitude on offense. And, she's really getting to the rim. She's trying to rebound, block out. And again, just the shot blocking is just huge for us defensively.
And Devereaux's she's playing very confident right now. Like Becca said, she is coming off injuries after year, and now this is her first year where she's able to play a full year healthy. So, I think that gives her a lot of confidence, and she's an emotional player, and when she plays with confidence and emotion, it's the same, and it affects all of us, and it's contagious. Her effort is contagious. She's tenacious on the boards, and she's not going to stop. She's a relentless player, and I think that she is the key. She's the X factor on our team, and when she's in the game, we're playing well, and when she's in foul trouble, we're a different team.
Over here.
Has Natalie helped you guys scout for Plouffe a little bit extra, just given their background with one another?
maybe said a few things here and there, nothing. I mean, we watched film, we've relied on our coaches for most of the scouting information like we normally would. That's really just here and there little things about her, nothing decisive. No, nothing, I wouldn't say nothing very decisive about her.
Any other questions for the student athletes? Over here.
You guys have done a good job winning all the games that you're supposed to win. You don't really have a bad loss per se. What's enabled you to do that, to take care of all the games that you would presumably be favorites in?
I can speak on that. I mean, she doesn't get a lot of credit for it, but Becca has definitely been the key to that. She doesn't understand how much responsibility and how much pressure we put on her as a captain to make sure that we're ready to start the games. And, you know, she's going to shake her head like, no, she's the modest one of the group. But definitely we put a lot on her to get us started, and she's the key to that start. When we have good starts, we're going to play well, and we're going to win those games. And just making sure that we tune into her for focus, and she's going to make sure that you're focused. Trust me, let's just say that. If you're not, you don't want to answer to an upset Becca Bruszewski.
It's in my own special way.
Any other questions? Okay, we'll excuse the student athletes at this time, and we'll turn the time over to questions for Coach McGraw.
Thanks.
You can go ahead and make that trek back without me.
Hi, Coach. When coming into this tournament, granted that you're going one game at a time, but looking at the way your year has gone, you've had a very good runs. How far is your team away from being one of the really great elite teams of this year, breaking into that Final Four? I mean, you've come a few times with Connecticut this year and Baylor.
I think we're starting to peak now. I think that we had some tough games in November that we learned a lot from. I think this team continues to improve every day, and that's what we try to do each game. We just take each game and we look at it and we say, how can we get better today? The NCAA tournament's about survive and advance, and that's all it is.
Coach, can you evaluate Skylar as a point guard? Has it turned out better than expected? She's met expectations, still a work in progress?
She definitely has met my expectations, and then some. I think she does some amazing things on the floor. To make that switch from running the team, it's difficult, even as a sophomore. I mean, she was fortunate last year that she had some great leadership with Melissa Leckleitner, but this year she has really taken this team and made us play her way. I think that we're playing a lot faster than we did last year. We're definitely an up-tempo team, and it's because the ball's in her hands. She's going to go, and if you want it, you better run with her.
Coach, Utah pulled off several upsets to get to this point, just being in the tournament. How does that influence how you approach their team in this game?
You know, they're riding a big wave of momentum coming in. They're a young team. They got a lot of enthusiasm and a lot of momentum going their way. And I think that it's just a really well-deserved bid to the tournament for them, and to be hosting. I mean, there was a lot on them. They had to come through to win it all, and they played really well down the stretch of all the games. Made some huge shots, made some big plays. So they've got to be playing with a lot of confidence right now.
Coach, the end of the season was pretty killer for you guys with road games at DePaul, West Virginia, Connecticut. Can you talk about how Skylar has stepped up in the last 10 games? What do you see in her that's been a difference?
Well, I think she wants to score, and she has finally figured out how she can run the point and also score. And I think that probably the first 15 to 20 games, you saw a little bit of that at different times, but I think she finally figured out in the last 10 games and has seen where she can score and where she has to run the team. And I think she's really done a great job of learning that. I think she's matured throughout the year, and now she's got a really good feel for this is what I can do and this is when I need to get into the offense a little bit more.
Coach, you mentioned Utah is a young team. How important is it for you to jump out fast and get them down quick and early?
I mean, I think that would be great. But I think looking at the last game we've played, you know, we've been off almost 2 weeks now. It's a long time between games. We're going to be a little rusty at the start, and that's kind of what I'm expecting.
Just with everything you talked about with Utah, the momentum, the confidence, the enthusiasm, does that make them more dangerous than what you might think of a typical number 15 seed?
I think everybody coming into the tournament's coming in to win, and everybody has that same excitement on their campus, and they're ready. They just happen to be playing at home, which makes it even more fun, I think, for them and for their fans. So I think it's going to be a great atmosphere for them.
Any other questions for Coach McGraw?
I asked the players about Devereaux. Could you just talk about her too and the kind of season she's had?
She really came on in the Big East season. I think she also had some growing pains early in the year. It's great to have her healthy. I think she adds tremendous, really, she adds something at both ends of the floor that we didn't have before. She is a shot blocker. She can rebound. She's got a big wingspan. She helps our press. She really does a lot of great things. She can run the floor. She's an incredible athlete. I think that she can help elevate the entire team when she's playing well.
You and Arizona State have crossed paths before in the postseason. You might or might not hear, but can you just talk about what their program's done in this last maybe 6-7 years and what you've seen, how they've kind of evolved up the ladder, so to speak?
I think Charlie's done a great job there. You know, we don't follow the West Coast quite as closely from where we are. We're kind of focusing on the Big East during the season, but they're continually a postseason team, and you know, they've been to a number of postseason tournaments over the last 6 or 8 years. So I think she's done a really good job of keeping them up at the high level.
When Notre Dame is playing its best, for us who hasn't seen too much, but highlights and things, what are you doing to make to get to your best playing level?
Well, I think, you know, statistically, we generally shoot the ball pretty well, and we can score. We can score points. We're a pretty good defensive team, and our assist to turnover ratio is good.
You might be the only team in the country that played at least one team from each of the power conferences, and then with 16 teams in the Big East, you see a lot of different types of styles. How does this team learn? I mean, are they quick learners in terms of, you know, different styles, different teams from different
I think they are, because within the Big East we see some different styles. You know, you have a team like West Virginia with a pressure defense. You have teams like Villanova and DePaul that run more of a motion offense with all 5 players. So I think we feel like we've seen just about everything. We've seen the offenses that everybody's running. We see some similarities in that from game to game. You know, some teams have a great post player. Some teams have more of a 5-out look. So I think we've seen it all. The Big East really prepares us well. I think it's a great conference, and we are fortunate to be in it and to have such a good season in it, because I think that also has given us a lot of confidence going in.
Any other questions? Thank you, Coach.